and welcome to Globewatch Special. With me, Charles Bune, Ed from the Sipopo Conference Center here in Malabo. Malabo, the capital of Equatorial Guinea, a country of roughly 1.2 million citizens. And this is one of the countries in Central Africa trying to unlock the advantages attributed to digital economy as one of the least attractive digitally based economic areas on the continent. I'm talking about Central Africa. Experts say by 2025, the global contribution of the digital economy will be roughly $23 trillion. That is huge for the advancement of technology, creation of jobs, and the attainment of the 2063 vision of the African Union. Recently, experts of the Intergovernmental Committee of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa have been meeting to make sure that they produce policies for African governments to ensure that their advancement and production of policies for a digitally based economy beneficial to the people is something of remarkable success. Just how far is Equatorial Guinea ready to encourage more internet connectivity and expand the digital economic space? My guest today on the program, Globewatch, is the country's Minister of Finance, Economy and Planning.
Cesar, Augusto, Abogo, thank you very much for accepting our invitation.
Pleasure.
We understand that by 2025, the global digital economy will be $23 trillion. And we are here in Equatorial Guinea. What are you doing to promote the digital economy in this country?
Okay, thank you, Charles, for the question. First of all, in the last decade, we have implemented a very ambitious development plan, which we call Horizon 2020. We had the Third National Economic Conference a couple of months ago to revamp this development strategy. But in the last decade, we've made significant investment in numeric infrastructures. And the country is fully equipped with fiber optic and other infrastructures. And what we're doing now in this stage is first to try to create the right legal framework in order for us to really use this investment in infrastructure, numeric infrastructure, to boost first human development by reducing poverty, but also to use this investment, these infrastructures, to improve the economic competitiveness of the country. So we've been doing that. We've done the investment that are required, significant. This is a very small country, and the whole country is covered with fiber optic. We are connected with Cameroon through a cable, ACE. That's how we call it. We are connected to South America. We are connected to Europe. We are connected to South Africa. So now is the time to create a good legal framework, and also to implement policies that can attract investment in this sector. The fourth industrial revolution is upon us, and all of us, we are aware of that. The question is, as you said, by 2025, where are we going to be? We have a roadmap which we are pursuing, and we think Equatorial Guinea, with working together with the different countries, with our brother countries, and anchoring our vision into the African free trade continental agreement to really take advantage of that, I think we will do fine.
If you look at the recent statistics, Central Africa is the least technologically evolving portions of Africa. Have you seen progress in the number of people who use services, online services in this country, in Equatorial Guinea in particular? Has there been an increase?
As everywhere in Africa. So the number of people using devices and all that, it's increasing. But what you said is true. This is the less advanced when it comes to technology area of Africa, which might be in the world. But we don't see that as a problem. We see that as an opportunity to really leapfrog, to jump. We've seen a tremendous increase of the number of devices in the country, but this is something different than that. What we are looking, we don't want to create a society that consume and consume and consume. We want an economy that can produce. So we don't only focus on the number of people using mobile devices and all that. We also focus on how business and company and even the public administration is using this technology. So this is the priority for us. We care about the way people, we care about closing the digital gap, which is the fight we have today, but also we care about how do we make sure that companies and even the government itself can integrate these technologies.
You just said about the 2020 vision of your country, and you just revamped it to include new elements to make it more modern and adaptable to the changing environment. What is the place of digital transformation as priorities in this new vision of diversification?
Okay, that's a very good question. Let me tell you. Now we have, like, in the revamped Horizon 2020 strategy, which will take us to 2035. We have, like,
Cameroon talks of 2035.
Yeah, we're
Gabon talks of 2025. Other countries talk of 2030, for example, in Kenya.
Yes. So we have, like, 4 focus priority areas. The first one is to reduce poverty eradication. Second one is to boost an inclusive and peaceful society. The third one is environmental sustainability. And the fourth one is productivity and industrialization. So we have a digital agenda that is transversal to all these 4 focus areas. Because in order to really eradicate poverty, a way to move forward, to advance, will be to introduce ITC, information and technology, information and communication technologies in our policies to eradicate poverty. In order to boost inclusive and peaceful society, technology can play a very good role. In order to protect the environment, technology can play a very good role. In order to really boost productivity and industrialization, so technology can play a good role, and a really serious role. So we see the digital agenda we have as a transversal, as a common element in all these focus areas. So technology is a key issue.
Well, you just said that technology is a key issue, and the main drivers of that technology
this is what I want to say.
Certainly be young people. And of the roughly 1.3 billion people living on the continent, roughly 700 million of them are young people. That should be roughly 60% of the continent's population. And I'm not sure the trend is different here in Equatorial Guinea. How much are you investing? How much fiscal space and policy are you budgeting and giving for young entrepreneurship in this country?
Okay, I'm gonna play it another way. We had like 3 months ago national dialogue about youth, gender, demographic dividend, and we have a policy for that. Now, how do we do? What is the road to take? The youth need a very good environment to thrive, to do business. So we as government we have to create this environment for them, an environment that can enable them to really be entrepreneurs, be business people. So we invest energy and significant resources to create this environment. Now, when a young guy of 24 years with a brilliant idea wants to start the business, he or she will need financing. And if she or he goes to the bank and says, okay, this is my brilliant idea and this is the money I need, the bank will not see, okay, I'm not saying this against the bank, but the bank will not see a potential Mark Zuckerberg, the bank will see just a risk. So we try to minimize the risk of the young people to get financing. So we work on the legal environment, but also we invest energy in secure the financing to the young people to invest.
Quickly, what do you think are the main sectors of the economy where these digital investments should be done? You are the finance, you are the Minister of Planning of this country, you are the Minister of the Economy, quite young you are saying. So which areas do you think should investments be taking place? Is it in the agricultural sector? Is it in the service sector? Is it in startups in agro-business?
I think you've said it all. I mean, for us, there is a big gap to close here in Equatorial when it comes to the development of financial services. And technology can play a really good role to really boost financial services. So there is a big space, big room to fill when it comes to financial services. And technology, it's a tool that we must work with. Now, agro-processing, agro-industrial, it's also a sector in which we are thinking to really boost young people and technology to get into. So basically, you've said it all. I mean, agro-industrial is critical. Services, when we say services, we mean financial services, we mean tourist services, but we also mean logistic services. So here today in Equatorial, we focus as a priority sector for diversification. We focus on agro, services, blue economy, and why not our traditional sector, which are mining, extractive. But for the young people, in order to really get the young people on board, we are thinking of mainly financial services and agro-industrial, because with the technologies available today, they can do very well there.
We are at the Sipopo Conference Center here in Malabo, the capital of Equatorial Guinea, to attend the 35th session of the Intergovernmental Committee of Experts and focus this year organized by the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa. And focus this year is on digital transformation and diversification in Central Africa. What is the value of a gathering like this?
Okay, for us it's very simple. First of all, we bring experts together, and this kind of gathering, they build consensus, build policies. So it's something very important because it will allow the government to really implement accurate policies that are based in evidence, policies that has been prepared by our experts.
Well, let's pause on one issue, diversification. You are one of the countries with a kind of mono economy, which over the years has been largely dependent on oil, plus 80%. You know the turbulence in the global oil market today since 2014. Where have you been investing so much in the past 5 years, for example, to take the economy from this oil or petrol station business?
Okay, first of all, we are one of the few, or one of the economy that are heavily dependent on the extractive sector, but not only us. We are in this part of the world, Central Africa, and the bad news is that mostly all of us were dependent on that. In the case of Equatorial Guinea, it's very particular, but okay, what are we doing? What are we considering to really do in the future? We think we have to diversify the economy, but we have to diversify the economy thinking with a value chain approach, because we've been working, as I said before, isolated, but we have to combine energies, Equatorial Guinea, Cameroon, Gabon, and all of us, to see how we can offer better services and better products to the market. So this is the kind of approach we have in Equatorial Guinea. We think in terms of as Guinean, but we also think in terms of CEMAC and also in terms of Africa.
Well, countries like Equatorial Guinea and their partners, the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, are increasingly working to double logistics for the sub-region in the era of the fourth industrial revolution, which is simply artificial intelligence war, what we are talking about. What should we expect from this country and the sub-region in the years ahead?
In the case, I will speak first in the case of Equatorial Guinea. You asked it before about what have we done, where have we made, what are the investments we've made in the recent past. We've invested a lot of resources in infrastructures, because if you read the High Five, the African Development High Five, or Big Five, we need infrastructures, you need electricity, we need to secure food, you need to do this and this. So Equatorial Guinea last decade has invested a significant amount of resources to equip this country with infrastructure. So when it comes to roads, when it comes to ports, when it comes to airports, when it comes to electricity, when it comes to water and sanitation, when it comes to other basic infrastructures that are required to really boost the economy, they are already in place in Equatorial Guinea. Now, the point is, with 8 ports, for instance, in Equatorial Guinea, with 8 ports, with 5 airports, with roads, with all that, with fiber optic, we are 1.2 million population country, 28,000 square kilometers. This is far bigger than us. So we want to make EG a platform for the whole sub-region, for our sub-region, for Africa. So we believe in regional integration because it will allow us to really take advantage of our common potential.
Okay. One but last question. President Obiang has been one of the firebrands for African integration. First of all, we are in Malabo, where there are 54 houses for 54 African countries and their leaders. How did you welcome the fact that finally the Continental Free Trade Agreement is operational, and what could be the opportunities for a country like Equatorial Guinea?
I mean, as you said, our president has been advocating for quite a long time for the integration of the continent, and Equatorial Guinea, the president, everyone here is very happy with that. We have to move forward. We have to think in terms of the common benefits, the shared prosperity. So what are we expecting for Equatorial Guinea? We're expecting Equatorial Guinea to be a country in which all the Africans can come and feel very well, feel at home, and open economy for the African business and the African. So we think, as I said in the opening remark, we have to combine energy. We have to work together, all of us, and in order to be able to compete and succeed in the global economy.
Finally, Mr. Minister, I came from Cameroon this time. I didn't have the kind of troubles with visa issues which used to exist, which means that everybody is moving towards integration now. Is that the new impetus for regional integration?
Of course, we
hosted this continental trade?
Yes, we hosted the 54th annual meeting of the African Development Bank, and the theme of this annual meeting was regional integration for shared economic prosperity. So we were very happy to host this annual meeting for the African Development Bank, and we really believe in this theme, in this motto. So definitely there's a new impetus in Equatorial Guinea to move forward with the regional integration. I know maybe in the past we've had some kind of differences, but regional integration means that we'll have to work together. And we believe today in Equatorial Guinea, we believe that in our continent there is a new moment, there is a momentum, there is the good moment to move forward, because all the leaders, and when I say leaders, I don't mean only president, I mean business people and even civil society, all this energy are fully aligned to our regional integration.
The Equato-Guinean Minister of Finance, Economy and Planning, Cesar Augusto Abogo, thank you very much indeed for being guest on our
Thank you very much, Charles.
You're welcome.
Okay.
The UN Violence Commission Chief for Central Africa, Barrister Bernard Achuomuna, thanks very much for accepting our invitation on Globewatch.
It's my pleasure to be here.
I learned through the radio network service of the Cameroon Radio Television that you have been given an important international mission by UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon. Through which means of communication did you learn of your appointment?
First of all, it happens in two stages. Just about on the 26th of December, I had a telephone call from the Secretary General's Secretariat asking me whether I would accept to be a member of a commission to inquire into the situation and the violations of human rights in the Central African Republic. And I said, okay, I would. If I can be useful, I will accept such an appointment to be a member of the commission. And 2 weeks later, I was telephoned to say that the Secretary General wanted me as a member of this commission, and furthermore that he had asked me to chair the commission. So I got my information directly from the Secretary General's Secretariat.
When you had the appointment, how did you feel?
Well, I think the first I feel humbled and you know, grateful to God that they remember what I did in Cali, Arusha, and if I didn't do a good job there, they would not be giving me 13 years afterwards.
Were you happy?
Humanitarian crimes has two aspects. The first aspect is that it is a crime. It is a crime. Therefore, first of all, as a crime, war or no war, it has to be punished. When you kill somebody, you are judged and punished. Secondly, because it is a crime that took place as an organized violence, we want to make sure that even the leaders of these groups, even if they didn't have blood in their hands, in the direct sense of being in the field to kill, they definitely bear vicarious responsibility for what happened. And therefore, we want also to give a message that we do not think that when you have a situation like it happened in Central African Republic, creating groups of violence is the best way of achieving your political aim. I think that it's a sort of obligation on the international community in peacekeeping and in promoting freedom and democracy, also to ensure that the society which is emerging is a society which obeys law and order.
Which kind of legal instruments will you be using in the Central African Republic? And when possible, are punishments expected? Because you know, justice delayed is justice denied. So when would this be effective? And when will you be going to Bangui and other parts of the country, Basora and others, to check on these crimes?
Our job is limited into making an inquiry and a report.
How long will the inquiry take?
Yes, the Secretary General and the Security Council has given us a mandate that within 6 months we must produce our preliminary report, and then within a year we must produce the final report. Therefore, we have a year to produce a report which will enable the Security Council to decide whether a court will be set up or whether they will be judged, etc., etc. But this is only one factor, as you might remark. It's only one factor in the way of seeing how peace, law, and order can be re-established in the Central African Republic, so that the nation and its citizens can continue marching on the road to democracy, to freedom, political freedom, to a stable society. This is only one of the steps.